You made it. You made it, y'all. Greetings. Welcome to Functified Friday. It's Funky Friday. Yes, darling. June 10th in the year of our Lord 2026, y'all. I started Functified Friday last night. So let me tell you a quick story while I get all this. So I went on TikTok and I was doing some readings, right? I was right in the middle of a reading. And baby, Ancestors was with me. I was getting the tingles, the chills, all of that. And then in the middle of the reading, this freak comes out using the N word. Yeah, it was a setup. It was a setup, which was crazy because messages were coming through. But they decided to do that with these messages. I am so grateful because my girl Charlotte Nolan, my sister from across the pond, she was in the chat. She's like, "Girl, brush it off," and I was cool. I was good. But I was shocked. Listen, I've heard that word, but like for the people in my chat, I was like, oh shit. So yeah, just to let you guys know, this social content stuff, this media life, baby, it is not for the weak. It is not for the weak. Baby, they up in these TikTok streets waiting, just to say the N-word. These are some sick people. But yeah, welcome to Functify Friday. All right, y'all saw my shuffle. Y'all saw my pull. Oh, I'm going to do my pull. We're going to be getting our divine downloads from the Oracle of the seven energies by the First Lady of Hay House herself, Miss Colleen Barron Reed, Colette Barron Reed. All right. So y'all saw my shuffle. Y'all saw my pull. Let's get into it. All right. Using the astrological transit that I'm getting from my daily planetary guide from Llewellyn. Let us get into it, shall we? So yesterday, Venus was in Virgo. And that was letting us know the difference between having healthy standards and chasing perfection. All right. Go back and check out the video from yesterday. All right. That transit was there to remind us that, not to settle for less than what we deserve, we deserve, but be realistic about the boundaries that we're placing for ourselves. Okay. So today the transit is going to ask us another question. All right. So if you know what you deserve, are you willing to speak up for it? If you know what you deserve, are you willing to speak up for it? Sometimes, y'all, the hardest conversation that we'll ever have isn't the conversation we need to have with someone else. It's our internal dialogue. It's the conversation we have to have with ourselves. The conversation that finally admits that whatever it is, this isn't working anymore. Yeah. Now comes the hard part. When you have that conversation and you know that some shit is not working for you anymore, here's the hard part. What are you going to do about it? Because awareness brings responsibility. Now that you're aware that the shit is not working, what you going to do? Let me get into today's transit. So, looking at my notes, y'all. So today we have Venus. We have Venus in Virgo with the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. All right. So the nodes are where we're going to or our past. All right. So this energy is going to be shining a light on our relationships, on our commitments, and the promises that we've made, the commitments that we've made. We may realize that we've been keeping the peace by staying quiet. But baby, when being quiet costs you your peace, you've been paying too much. That's too high of a price to pay. That's too high of a price to pay. Yep. Today is going to ask us to get very honest, not with anyone else, but with ourselves. Today is going to be asking us to get very real with ourselves. What do we really want? What have we been afraid to say? Speaking our truth may feel uncomfortable, but staying quiet may be costing you even more. So with this one, with this transit, judgment. Oh, wait a minute. That's justice. Where's my judgment? Yeah, judgment. That is the one that's the one that we're going to be using. Here's judgment. Here we go. Judgment. Judgment is about answering the call to become who we really are. This card reminds us that there comes a moment when we have to stop living from, our old survival pattern, from old habits, and start living from our truths. And like right now, my truth is I'm sweating my ass off, so that's why I'm fanning. So you gotta excuse me. Let me put this fan down so I can move a little faster. So again, this card is going to ask us one simple question: Are you making this choice because it's right for you, or because it feels familiar? What you doing? What you doing, collective? Right there. So let me say this. When you do shit like that, that pattern is called people pleasing. We're people pleasing. And it happens when we spend so much time trying to keep everyone else happy that we stop being honest about what we need. You got to let that shit go. You can't, that's not good. That's not good. At first it feels like peace at first. Let me just shut up because I don't want to start no shit. But over time, it's going to start turning into resentment, because you're going to resent the environment or the people that you've been trying to keep the peace with. And you're going to resent yourself because you abandoned yourself just to avoid some bullshit. Collective, your voice matters. Your feelings matter. Your needs matter. You don't have to start an argument to tell the truth. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can say is that this isn't working for me anymore. It just is not. Every choice you make is planting a seed. All right. When you choose honesty instead of fear, when you choose self-respect instead of silence, you begin creating relationships and experiences that reflect who you are becoming. Imagine that. Imagine that. So I don't need the ancestors to be with me for this one. We're going to affirm, I honor my truth. I speak with confidence. And respect myself and others. There we go. I honor my truth. I speak with confidence, and I respect myself and others. Today, I want you all to pay attention to where you're staying quiet. Where are you trying to keep the peace at? Is there a conversation that you've been avoiding? Are there been boundaries that you've been afraid to set? Are there decisions that you've been putting off? Take one small step. Your voice deserves to be heard. Your voice deserves to be heard. Baby, saying no, baby, I'm going to say this to you all. If anyone gets upset from you saying no, it's because they benefited from you always saying yes. Huh? They benefited from you. They knew. They knew. There you go. Yeah. Where have you been keeping the peace at the expense of your peace? That's a question you need to ask. All right. So y'all saw my shuffle, y'all saw my pull, and we got card number 30. We're gonna break it down to the number. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah, it's card number 30. And we're just gonna break it down to 3. And when we come to the numerological aspect, of 3, what we're talking about is acknowledgement. We're talking about creativity. We're talking about growth. We're talking about development. We're talking about abundance, fertility, possibly a third party or you know, a family, a baby coming through. But with this card says shining through. And shining through, you all know, the only tarot equivalent for shining through is going to be it. Here she is. Here's that baby. Oh, is the sun. Yep. The sun. Shining through. When we have this card, we talk about letting our true self be seen, allowing our light to rise above our fear, to rise above our doubt. Shining through. We came through a difficult season, baby. This card. And I love when this shit happens because I cannot make this up. Y'all saw my shuffle. Y'all saw my pull. This card right here is speaking directly to the astrology that we talked about. Shining through. Baby, this is confirmation that universal spirit is saying it's time for you to stop playing small. It's time for you to start stepping up and speaking out. Shining through right there, baby. Here's a question for you. What is stopping you right now, collective? What is stopping you from showing the world who you really are? You see that baby? That baby is naked. That baby is saying, look at me. I'm here. Look at me. Yes, demand that attention. Look at me in all my glorious nakedness. You ain't got to be naked. Unless, of course, you are worth looking naked at, honey, because not everybody does. Yeah. Some of those new beaches, honey. Some people take that shit a little bit too far, but I digress. You know, with these cards, we're feeling confident. We're feeling hopeful. We're feeling authentic. And the more you embrace who you are, the less you're going to need anybody else's approval. And baby, that's real living when you can do that. When you don't give a fuck about what anyone thinks and you living for yourself, baby, that's real living right there. So traditionally, this tarot card meaning, traditionally, you know, we're talking about success. We're talking about joy. We're talking about confidence. We're talking about clarity. We're talking about authentic self-expression with the sun right there. Many people, they hide their gifts because they're afraid of being judged or they're afraid of being rejected or they're afraid of being misunderstood. And you know what? And I'll say this to you. I'll say this to you all. Embarrassment is a very misstudied emotion. It's a very understudied emotion. Embarrassment ain't gonna kill you. Embarrassment ain't gonna kill you, baby. No, you were never meant, collective. You were never meant to hide your light. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs the person that you were created to be. That's what the world needs. So, collective, stop shrinking, start shining. And we're going to affirm, I confidently let my light shine and live my authentic self. And that's how we're going to close out this 5-day work cycle. Functified Friday. Ain't so functified no more, is it? All right, babies. Y'all stay in your alignment. Your alignment is your assignment. And when being authentic gets a little too rough, close your eyes and ask the universe to show you how good it can be. Y'all have an amazing Saturday and Sunday off, all right? You get some rejuvenation. Bye.